3 tips to raise unlimited capital from private money lenders. Now, what if you could raise all the money needed to fund amazing real estate deals? Deals that will give you passive income, deals that help you build multi-million-dollar net worth, deals that will help you quit your job or buy a fancy car or travel the world, or maybe just give you the freedom to sleep in a little bit, maybe spend some more time with your kids. I mean, imagine what kind of life you could lead if money was no longer a sticking point on your road to real estate wealth. Well, my name is Brandon Turner, host of the BiggerPockets podcast, author of a bunch of real estate books, like the book on investing in real estate with no one money down, and my new books, the Multifamily Millionaire Volumes 1 and 2. Oh, I'm also a real estate investor, and I've raised like $75 million in the past 18 months to buy some really massively big deals. And pretty much any deal that came across my plate that was good, I was able to take down and buy, because raising money from private lenders wasn't a big deal. So I'm not just like talking the talk, I'm walking the walk right now in this crazy market, and you can as well. So today we're gonna focus on 4 tips to help you jumpstart your buy and hold real estate investment career and get your next deal funded through private money lenders. And at the end, we're gonna give you one question. I'm gonna give you one question that will help you raise so much capital, it's gonna blow you away. This question changed my life, so we'll get to that. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more information like this about real estate on the BiggerPockets channels, and follow us on social media at BiggerPockets everywhere, or you can follow me personally at Beardy Brandon. Now, what's a private money lender? Let's talk about that first. So a private money lender is someone who can help fund your real estate deals because they've got money. But it's not like they have a business around lending money. They're not a bank. There's people. These lenders are typically from your sphere of influence. Sphere of influence. Like family, friends, coworkers, or people in your network, other real estate investors. People looking for a better return than like 0.5% from the bank on their savings account. Now, maybe your first concern is, well, Brandon, I don't know anybody with enough money to become a private money lender. I don't hang around with a bunch of rich people. Now, first of all, is that a fact or is that just an assumption? I mean, take a minute and go into your text message on your phone. Look at the last 10 or 15, 20 people you texted. Like, how many of those people have you talked to about real estate? I mean, you don't have to be fabulously wealthy to invest in real estate. People have $30, $50, $100,000 in retirement accounts and savings accounts that you have no idea about. So let's not judge the people that are around you. You could be shocked at how much money they have sitting around, especially if they own any real estate that's gone up in value lately. So again, how many of these people are you talking to about real estate? One of them? None of them? I mean, most of us were taught growing up that we should not talk about money. But here's the thing. Everyone that I know that's successful in business or in real estate, they talk about money all the time. It's like a thing you just talk about. Cash flow is the lifeblood of financial freedom. Without having those conversations with your sphere of influence, you'll never know who's willing to fund one of your real estate deals. So you need to have these conversations. Now, I'm not saying you should go and spam everyone in your phone and ask for money from them. That just makes you look stupid. But here are 4 tips to help you fund your first or your next deal. Tip number 1, dig the well before you're thirsty. You can't wait until you're dying of thirst to start digging a well. If you do, you're gonna die of that thirst before reaching the waters you need. In other words, form the relationships before you need them. Now, I'm sure you've heard the phrase before, your network is your net worth, and there's so much truth behind this statement, especially in real estate. The problem is that most of us are not intentional with building our network. You just kind of naturally have friends, but are you being intentional about the people and how many and what they who they are that you're hanging out with? I mean, chances are you know more than 3 or 4 people in your life, but were they accidents or were they intentional? We do not take the time to nurture our relationships generally. We often just take them for granted. So here's a simple way to rekindle those relationships that you might have. In episode 401 of the BiggerPockets podcast, relationship specialist and podcaster Jordan Harbinger, good buddy of mine, shares a strategy he calls the Connect 4. Every day, Jordan spends a few minutes scrolling to the bottom of his text messages, go back a few months or years, and send 4 rekindling messages out to individuals that you haven't spoken to in several months or years, and reconnect with them. So here's a very simple message you can use to start the process right now. You can grab your phone right now. Hey, Bob, or name. I just saw on Facebook that, a memory of our group trip to Cabo. What a blast. I realized we hadn't spoken in a while. What's the latest with you? No rush to reply. By the way, hey, this is Brandon, in case you don't have the number saved any longer. I mean, literally that little message will take you 5 minutes to send it to 4 people. So let's break down why this short text works. First of all, you start with their name. Everyone loves to see and hear their name. You are referencing an actual event or a memory with that person. So there's a specific reason for the outreach, and you can usually find that in the text. What's the last thing you talked about? Now, especially if it did pop up on Facebook or social media, that makes that even easier. And they probably saw the memory as well. Maybe it was like a life event that you recently saw on social media, or a marriage or a promotion or a new car, whatever. Don't just like or comment, like take a step further and text them, call them. You're asking next a question to help get a response and an update. And then saying no rush reply or no rush to reply, it's helpful because we're all busy and you don't want it to feel like it's a task for someone to get back to you right away, but they'll respect that and be like, oh man, that's awesome. I'll give them a text back. And lastly, reintroduce yourself by text. I mean, this is like the guessing game out of the random text if they didn't save your number from a year ago or they got a new phone. And sometimes it just helps to get a response. It's like, hey, Brandon, of course I still have your number. Right? It gets that conversation going. So do that with everyone in your text messages for the next couple of weeks. You'll be surprised at what can develop from this one simple text message. Just building the conversation. Again, don't be weird and ask for money. Just build relationships. If they're local, maybe it's time to go meet up with them for coffee, go to lunch, go on a hike together, whatever works best. Remember, people will do business with those they know, like, and trust. So build some knowledge, some likability, and some trust. All right, tip number 2, develop your crystal clear criteria. Before you begin discussing your investment opportunities, it's important to develop what we call your crystal clear criteria, or the CCC. Your CCC is designed to not only help you narrow your focus on your next deal, but it'll also help you explain what a deal looks like to someone that may not be investing in real estate on their own. So your CCC is comprised of the 5 criteria points, these ones. Property type, like is it a single family, multifamily, whatever. Location, where is it? Long distance, locally, whatever. A condition, are you trying to find like a massive rehab or just something a little bit, not too bad. Price range, like what's the most you want to pay? What's the least amount you go after something? And then profitability. In other words, like what makes it a good deal? What kind of return are you looking for? The clearer your goals are, by having that clear CCC, the more others around you will want to help you reach them. I'll give you an example of why this works. Like imagine there's like 2 friends and they're both out of work and they're both going to call you and ask you for assistance. And then the first says, I'm looking for a job, any job, doesn't matter, just looking for a job. The second one says, hey, I'm looking for a job, preferably like an HR admin role at a hospital somewhere in XYZ town. Do you know anything? Now, even though the first friend, they casted a way bigger net, like they didn't have a CCC, they were just like, I'll take anything. You're actually much more likely to help the second friend because their request is very specific and it makes you focus your brain's efforts on a particular solution for them. I mean, you're thinking, who do I know that works at that hospital? Yeah, my cousin Jenny works at the hospital. I bet she knows HR people there. It just makes it easier to have other people help you when you are more clear on your goals. So by developing those crystal clear criteria, it'll make people want to help you. All right, tip number 3, add more financing tools to your tool belt. Although private lenders are great, they're not going to be the only tool belt or the tool that you use. Like in my first book, the book on investing in real estate with no and low money down, I compared creative real estate investing to like a contractor's tools and a tool belt. I'll repeat it here. If you only have one tool, it's like a big hammer, there's very few projects you can take on. Maybe you could pound some nails in, you could do some demo on some cabinets, whatever. But you add a tape measure and a pencil and a saw and a drill, and suddenly there's a lot more projects you can take on. Like maybe that swing set that your kid has been begging for, or the raised garden bed that your partner requested. I mean, again, the more tools you have access to, the bigger and the better the projects you can tackle. The exact same thing is true with real estate. So private lenders play a huge role, but for example, you can raise the money just for the down payment from a private lender and then use a hard money for the rest, or a bank loan or whatever. So in order to help you understand how they can partner with you and to build wealth without the headache, you need to become familiar with all those different options so you can figure out how to fit them into your puzzle to be able to take down a deal. I mean, here's another example. A lot of people talk about how much equity they have in their home because the prices have gone up so much in the last year or two. So maybe if you talk to somebody, they're like, oh yeah, I got so much equity in my home, I'm thinking about selling it. And you're like, well, you know what? You could maybe, get a home equity line of credit. And that's a way to tap into that equity, and you can take that money and then you can invest it in real estate deals. Like, I mean, that's what I do in my business. We actually work with other investors who put their money with us and like from their lines of credit, and we invest in real estate. So like you're paying your bank 3% and I can probably get you more like 8 or 9 or 10%, and you get to keep that difference. It's a really good way to make passive income. And all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool, because you understood the different methods at play. All right, tip number 4. This is super, super important. Have a great deal. I mean, in today's world, money is actually everywhere, but deals are difficult to find. That's why it's been relatively easy for me to raise all that money, $75 million in the past year or so. It's not because of my good looks and charming beard. It's because at my real estate firm, Open Door Capital, we just get great deals because we prioritize finding great deals. We treat it very much like a business, not some hobby, not some like fly-by-night thing. Like, we are very business oriented. We track all of our marketing efforts. We set weekly and quarterly goals on outreach and marketing and offers made and deals analyzed. We work every day on improving our deal finding skills. And we don't get emotional about it. We remember that this is a numbers game. Like, we know that we typically get about 1 offer accepted for every 10 high quality offers we put out there. And we make offers on maybe half the deals we analyze. So when we want to get more deals, we just got to get more leads in our pipeline. We analyze more, we make more offers, and then we get more accepted. So it's really that simple. And while, yeah, that works for a multi-million-dollar investment firm like Brandon's, does that work for anybody else? Yeah, it works for everybody, even if you're finding your very first deal. Make finding a deal your life. Become the best in your market at finding your specific crystal clear criteria property. Work your business with consistency and persistence. Treat it like a business. You will reap the rewards. You'll land some great deals. And then combine these great deals with all the tips we already talked about, and you're digging your well and all that, and you're going to get people interested. But it's not quite done yet. There's one more piece to this. We'll call it a little bonus tip here. These tips all work. But if you don't do this last thing, you're going to struggle. And that is how you present the opportunity to somebody else. Do you get anxiety just thinking about asking for money? It happens to everybody. In fact, for years, I said, I don't want to ever ask people for money. I don't ever raise money. I don't do that. It's not a thing I do. But I had to shift my mentality. I'm not asking for money. I am offering a freaking good real estate opportunity for people. I'm offering them an opportunity to make passive income. I'm offering them an opportunity to change their life and their family's destiny forever. Why would I hold that back? I wouldn't. So after you've explained your crystal clear criteria, what your goals are, how you do this stuff, and how you're going to execute on the plan, this is the line that I love to use with people in conversation. It makes it so easy. This is the line that is just going to change your life. Now, if you like this, by the way, make sure you reward me with this tip by clicking that little thumbs up button if you haven't yet. All right, here we go. Here's the sentence. Do you know anybody that would be interested in something like this? You see, this question, I love it because it gives them the opportunity to say, actually, I might be. And maybe they can't, or maybe they don't want to. And that gives them the ability to decline without hurting your relationship. So if you're worried about the weirdness of asking for money, don't ask for money. Ask them if they know anybody who might be interested. And even if they do decline, you've already asked them if they know somebody else. So now they can suggest somebody else if they know somebody. Maybe their neighbor would be a great fit, or they heard that their friend's parent loves real estate. Or maybe a year down the road, they come back to you because now they've got the money. You never know where a conversation or relationship can lead you. Now, go out there, be intentional with your time, and build those relationships. And don't forget to hit that little subscribe button if you want to follow BiggerPockets here. And hit that like button too if you like this stuff. I want this to be the best year of your life. I want it to be a pivot year for you. Let's make that change right now. Go take action on something you learned today. For BiggerPockets.com, my name is Brandon Turner, signing off.